First up, it's the leading vote getter and the host for this year's All-Star Game, Indiana Fever guard Caitlin Clark. This is Clark's first time being selected as a team captain, and she joins A'ja Wilson as the only players to be named captains their first 2 seasons in the league under this new format. Caitlin is on pace for her second season, averaging 18 points, 8 assists. No other player has done that even once.
Picture this. Caitlin Clark receives nearly 1.3 million All-Star votes, more than the entire top 30 players combined got in 2023. She makes WNBA history and is named team captain. In her first interview since suffering a groin injury a few weeks ago, she makes a triumphant return to ESPN for the 2025 WNBA All-Star Draft. But here's the twist no one saw coming. During the live broadcast, Clark makes a move so bold it changes everything. Want to know how she made history again? If you're excited about Clark's return, comment #CC Record Breaker. Let's go.
Out west, it's the Minnesota Lynx Nafisa Collier making her debut in captainship. But don't get it twisted, she knows this game well. Fee has been named an All-Star 5 out of the last 6 games. She's the 2024 Defensive Player of the Year and the favorite to win MVP according to ESPN Bet Sportsbook. But how about we check in on her GM skills? We're about to find out what those look like. It's just about that time. The captains are here. Fee, Caitlin, how are we feeling heading into your first draft as captains?
What Clark just achieved with the All-Star votes is nothing short of mind-blowing. While she was recovering from a groin injury, fans rallied behind her like their lives depended on it. She received an astonishing 1,293,526 votes. That's not just a record, it's a complete obliteration of anything the WNBA has ever seen. To put it in perspective, in 2023, the top 30 All-Star vote getters combined for a total of 1,171,000 votes. Clark surpassed that number on her own. She single-handedly earned more votes than 30 of the league's best players combined just 2 years ago. A'ja Wilson led the voting in 2023 with 95,860 votes. A number that seems impressive until you realize Clark received 13 times more
fans out there online who say it's Fever versus everybody, and when they see this voting, it's only going to fuel that note.
The WNBA has been around since 1997, but fan engagement has never looked like this. Clark has taken a league long overlooked by the mainstream and transformed it into must-watch television. People who had never followed women's basketball were suddenly casting all-star votes. Parents got their kids involved. Social media lit up with Clark-related content throughout the voting period. It was everywhere.
WNBA All-Star captains have been announced. Team Collier versus Team Clark, the top 2 vote getters when it comes to fan voting. Caitlin Clark, over 1.2 million fan votes. Nafisa Collier not too far behind with 1.1 million fan votes. Aaliyah Boston was close, less than 2,000 votes away from a Team Clark versus Team Boston All-Star Game experience. That would have been quite the entertainment, but instead we get Team Clark versus Team Nafisa Collier.
Clark versus Team Nafisa Collier. Her return from injury isn't just a comeback, it's a defining moment. She realizes she's not only back on the court, but she's also become the most popular player in WNBA history, a true needle mover. The voting results make that undeniable. Clark's impact reaches far beyond basketball stats. She's brought an entire generation of new fans to the league. The numbers reveal a level of popularity and mainstream appeal the WNBA has never experienced before.
That's Caitlin Clark. That's the Caitlin Clark phenomenon right there. That is a perfect example. The year before she showed up, all the way to what? Basically 13 times the amount of votes, because she almost got 1.3 million.
That's Caitlin Clark. That's the Caitlin Clark phenomenon in action. It's the perfect example. The year before she arrived, fan engagement was modest. Then she shows up and pulls in nearly 1.3 million votes, about 12 to 13 times more than the previous high. Her vote total proves she's not just a superstar with a great season, she's the face of the entire league. Her time away due to injury only made fans realize how much they missed seeing her play. Voting became their way of showing support and demanding her return to the spotlight. This unprecedented wave of support leads perfectly into what's coming next, the draft. Clark will walk into that ESPN studio knowing over 1 million people cast votes specifically for her. She now carries the kind of power and popularity that can fuel bold moves. But here's where it gets even more interesting. How do her fellow players really see her?
I feel good.
We're ready.
Ooh.
I'm excited to get it underway.
I'm ready. I'm excited. This is going to be a whole lot of fun here. I'm curious. Fee, can you just take me inside? I think Captain GM Fee has a nice ring to it. What's your strategy here as you're looking towards this draft?
It does have a nice ring to it. I like this position a lot. I feel like I got to try to get some of my Hootie Hoo Owl girls on here. I got to try to get some of my Husky girls on here. So I've got an agenda coming into today.
All right, we got a little bit of
What Clark does next is bold. So bold, in fact, that it makes WNBA history. For the first time ever, the draft kicks off with Caitlin Clark and Napheesa Collier as team captains, seated virtually across from each other on the ESPN set. Everyone expects a standard draft. Captains picking players, business as usual, but Clark has a secret. A plan no one sees coming.
You, Caitlin, what's your strategy here?
I'm going on vibes.
Ooh.
We're picking whatever comes to mind. We're just having fun. My team's going to be fun. That's all that matters. You get to be in front of the home crowd in Indianapolis, so that's right.
Being in front of the home crowd is an important thing and could play maybe to your advantage here. We've done enough talking. It sounds like it is time that we get this draft underway. I've always wanted to say this. With the first pick in the 2025 WNBA All-Star Draft, Team Clark selects.
I know this will be super surprising to everybody watching, but I'm going with my teammate, Aaliyah Boston, baby.
We're putting Aaliyah Boston
Welcome,
up on
baby.
the board here. Aaliyah Boston going here to Team Clark.
The draft begins, and Clark makes her first move. She selects Aaliyah Boston. It's a powerful gesture, showing loyalty to her Indiana Fever teammate and honoring the chemistry they built during Clark's rookie season. Boston stood by her through the highs and lows, and Clark rewards that partnership by making her the top pick. The choice speaks volumes. It's not just about talent. It's about trust, respect, and the relationships that matter most to Clark.
Aaliyah has been on opposite teams with Napheesa Collier in each of her first 3 All-Star appearances, and that tradition, keeping it up this year as she's joining her teammate Caitlin Clark. She's been an All-Star selection in each of her first 3 seasons in the league. She's the 9th player in league history to be an All-Star in each of their first 3 seasons. So you're getting some real talent that you know very well here, Caitlin, on your team.
In a surprising twist, Clark also drafts A'ja Wilson despite their intense on-court rivalry throughout the season. Wilson had dominated several of their head-to-head matchups and ultimately claimed the MVP award, one many believed should have gone to Clark. But Clark's decision to pick her isn't about ego, it's about winning. It shows maturity, competitiveness, and a willingness to put respect for greatness above personal pride. By choosing Wilson, Clark sends another message. She's here to compete at the highest level, and she's not afraid to team up with the best, even if they've been her toughest opponents.
Lynn, we're going back to you here with the 4th pick in this draft.
All right, 4th pick. I'm going to take A'ja.
A'ja Wilson. I was wondering when we would see A'ja of the
Stack my
Aces
team up.
going
we
off
go.
of the board here. A'ja Wilson headed to Team Clark here, 3-time All-Star captain. She did select you, Fee, on her team in 2019 and has played with you 3 out of the 4 All-Star games. So it's going to be a little different again going head-to-head here with A'ja Wilson, the 3rd straight season of her averaging 20 or more points and her 5th season overall, of course, a certified ball.
I'm not sure if this is technically in the rules, and honestly, I don't really care. We've already talked it over, and we're making a trade. Yep, we're trading coaches. Team Faye is taking her coach, Sandy Brondello. Let's go. It's going to be incredible. Sorry, WNBA. Sorry, ESPN. If that's not in the rule book, well, it is now. We just made it one. So Sandy, come on over. You're coaching Sabrina. Let's get to work.
If this is in the rules, I don't really care. But I think we've already discussed we are going to trade coaches. Fee's going to take her coach, Sandy Brondello. Let's get it. It's going to be amazing. Sorry, WNBA, if that's not in the rule. Sorry, ESPN, if that's not in the rules, but we just made it a rule.
now.
So, Sandy Brondello, come on over.
Whoa!
Let's get to it. You can coach Sabrina.
Instead of simply picking players, Clark stuns everyone by announcing a trade, not of a player, but her coach, Cheryl Reeve. Nothing like this has ever happened in All-Star history. The move was so unprecedented that the WNBA and ESPN had to grant special permission just to allow it. When Clark declares she wants to swap coaches with Collier, the entire draft flips on its head. The energy in the room shifts instantly. This isn't just a draft anymore, it's a power play. and Clark is rewriting the rules in real time.
Breaking
Let me know.
news here. I don't know that I've heard of a coach being traded in the All-Star game. This is something that you're agreeing to, Fee. There's no terms to this deal.
I agree with Cheryl. I agree with the trade. I love Cheryl. She's my coach here. And you know what? That's just going to be worse for Team Clark because now we got more chemistry on our side. We got more synergy. We know what we expect from each other. So that was a bad move on your part, Caitlin. We're taking you down.
Yes, that Cheryl Reeve, the same coach who left Caitlin Clark off the Team USA Olympic roster, gets traded to Collier's team. Despite Clark's historic rookie season, Reeve snubbed her and didn't hold back in criticizing the overwhelming attention Clark received throughout the year. Clark didn't forget. And now, in front of a national audience, she makes her feelings known. The message is loud and clear. Thanks, but no thanks. As one fan put it bluntly, they'd rather watch paint dry than see that pairing forced together.
I'd rather watch paint dry. I'd rather watch dirt just be moved around. Because Caitlin Clark's not on the team. If she's there, it's appointment TV. You people, whoever did this, honestly, hey, take your brain, put it in a museum, and study it for how dumb you are.
Clark brings in Sandy Brondello from New York to coach her squad, a move that shows she's not just a player, but a strategic thinker who understands that team success goes far beyond individual talent. Brondello, who led the Liberty to a winning season, brings a championship mindset that Clark clearly wants in her corner. The coach trade instantly becomes the most talked about moment of the draft. It's proof that Clark already holds real influence in the league. She's making moves that don't just impact a game. They shift the entire structure of the All-Star format. Collier and Clark are laughing, clearly enjoying the moment, but you can see it caught everyone off guard. Behind the scenes, ESPN producers were probably scrambling, trying to figure out how to cover a twist no one saw coming. This wasn't just a draft, it was a statement.
The coaches maybe is going to be the X factor. The coaches are maybe going to be the X factor.
Hey, Sandy, defending champion, loves to shoot threes, lets her players get after it. I don't know. I'm feeling good with Sandy and Sabrina on my team.
Collier fires back with some playful trash talk. That's just going to be worse for Team Clark. Now we've got more chemistry, more synergy. We know exactly what to expect from each other. That was a bad move. Caitlin, we're taking you down. The competitive spirit ignites immediately after the swap. But beyond the banter, the coach trade reveals something deeper. Clark isn't just the most popular player in the league. She's emerging as a true leader, one unafraid to make bold, game-changing decisions. Rather than simply accepting the coach assigned to her, Clark took control of the All-Star experience and reshaped it to fit her vision. She engineered the situation she believed would give her team the best chance to win, proving once again that her influence goes far beyond the court.
By the way, I just got official word from the WNBA, from the league. I am hearing that a trade of coaches is permitted and it is granted. I wish I had a gavel here. So the coach trade has gone through. As the steward of this draft. It has been approved. And these are your teams. This is going to be a whole lot of...
This move proves that Clark has evolved from a rookie sensation into a figure of real influence in the WNBA. She's not afraid to make waves or ruffle feathers when it comes to winning. The coach trade elevates the All-Star game from simple entertainment to something far more symbolic, a shift in power. But here's something that might make you question everything about how the league really operates behind the scenes. While fans were shattering voting records to show their support for Clark, WNBA players had a very different perspective. In a recent players poll, Clark was ranked as only the 9th best guard in the league. Let that sink in. The woman who pulled in 1.3 million fan votes, more than anyone in WNBA history, was placed 9th by her own peers. Paige Buchers, who hasn't even played a WNBA game yet, was ranked 4th. Sabrina Ionescu came in 2nd. Alicia Gray topped the list as the league's best guard. Even Natasha Cloud and Brittany Sykes were ranked higher than Clark.
There's going to come a time when the CBA negotiations are going on, the owners are sitting across from the Players Association, the negotiators are in the room, they're trying to iron out things, and the owners all come together and they ask a question. They pose a question to the players, and the question's simple. Where's Caitlin Clark? Why isn't she here? And why isn't she sticking up for you ladies and advocating on your behalf? And when the Players Association, when the people in that room hear that question, they're going to be looking at each other, confused, lost, and without an answer that doesn't make them look incredibly foolish.
It creates a strange, almost surreal dynamic. The most popular player in WNBA history isn't even ranked in the top 5 at her position by the very players who compete against her. Clark dominated the fan vote with numbers the league has never seen, yet her peers essentially said she's not close to being elite. This disconnect between overwhelming fan admiration and lukewarm player respect has become the elephant in the room, something no one wants to directly address. Fans see a generational talent breaking records and injecting the league with unprecedented energy and visibility. But when players vote, they're clearly seeing something else. They're watching the same games, the same highlight reels, the same stat lines, and still walking away with a completely different verdict on her game.
Everybody is talking about are the player rankings when it comes to the All-Star ballot. They put Caitlin Clark number 9 as far as the guards go for the WNBA. Not number 2 behind, I don't know who would possibly be ahead of her. Not number 3, not 4, not 5. Shout out to LeBron James. Not 1, not 2, not 3. They put her all the way at number 9.
Clark's teammates like Aaliyah Boston and Kelsey Mitchell probably saw that player ranking and immediately knew it was off. They practice with her every day. They've watched her hit impossible shots, make plays no one else would even attempt, and elevate the entire team. If anyone understands her impact, it's them. And yet, the broader player community ranked her behind guards who don't bring nearly the same energy, production, or spotlight. The voting results hint at something deeper: jealousy, politics, maybe even a little fear. Fans don't usually see this side of the league, but it's there. Some players might be protecting their own status, defending the legacies of longtime veterans, or simply tired of all the attention Clark receives. Whatever the motive, there's clearly some resentment simmering beneath the surface, and that's what makes Clark's captaincy even more remarkable. She's leading in spite of the noise. She walked into that All-Star Draft fully aware that a big chunk of the league doesn't think she belongs, but she showed up anyway, took control, and made bold decisions. That's leadership under pressure.
Caitlin Clark has to be getting a light bulb. Oh, they just don't like me, right? Once we get to the Natasha Cloud and Brittany Sykes, a light bulb has to go off. Ding, ding, ding. Oh, they just don't like me. I'm done publicly coming to your girl's defense. I'm done publicly using my cachet, using my fans, my fan base to come support you guys. We're done with that.
Here's what almost no one is talking about when it comes to this All-Star game. It's not just about the game. It's about what comes after for Clark, and for the entire WNBA. This isn't just another All-Star venue. It's Clark's house. Gainbridge Fieldhouse, the Indiana Fever's home court, becomes the center of the basketball universe, packed with the same fans who shattered voting records just to see her take the floor. It's a perfect storm, a rising superstar, playing in front of a sold-out home crowd on the biggest stage the league has offered her so far. This crowd won't be neutral. It'll be electric. It'll be Clark's 6th teammate, and with that kind of energy behind her, she gets the ultimate opportunity to silence the doubters, erase the 9th best guard label, and remind everyone exactly who she is. This All-Star game isn't just a showcase, it's a statement, and everyone will be watching what happens next.
The WNBA All-Star Draft was fun between Caitlin Clark and Nafisa Collier, the team captains, picking the players, picking the rosters. But the most interesting aspect was the coach swap, because Clark traded Cheryl Reeve, who was the coach of her team, or was to be the coach of her team, to Collier for Sandy Brondello, the coach of the New York Liberty. Of course, Reeve is Collier's head coach for the Minnesota Lynx, so that makes sense. But the drama is going to come from Reeve having previously been critical on social media about the amount of attention Clark received relative to the rest of the league.
With the coach, trade drama, and the player rankings controversy still fresh, this All-Star game becomes more than just a mid-season showcase. It's Clark's moment to prove the doubters wrong on the biggest stage yet. Now, she has Sandy Brondello in her corner, a proven winner who led the New York Liberty to the top of the league. Brondello brings championship experience and a steady hand, and now she gets the chance to coach Clark in a high-profile clash against none other than Cheryl Reeve, the same coach who left Clark off the Team USA roster. It's poetic. The coach, who said no, now has to coach against the player everyone is watching, and Clark, with a packed home crowd behind her and a chip on her shoulder, finally has the perfect setting to respond, not with words, but with buckets.
Not to mention being the coach of Team USA that Caitlin Clark was so famously snubbed from. Of course, Reeve wasn't a part of the official committee, but, some may believe she had some say in how all that went down. Regardless, the picking between the players was a lot of fun, and Caitlin Clark also wound up with all of the Fever members on her squad as well, meaning Aaliyah Boston, Clark, and Kelsey Mitchell will be a trio in Indianapolis for All-Star.
Clark's team lineup reveals the strategic vision behind her picks. This wasn't just popularity or loyalty. It was calculated team building. Aaliyah Boston brings built-in chemistry from their fever connection, anchoring the front court with familiarity and trust. A'ja Wilson adds elite interior dominance, giving the squad a powerful presence in the paint. On the perimeter, Clark surrounds herself with sharp shooters and versatile scorers like Sabrina Ionescu and Satu Sabally, creating the perfect spacing for her playmaking to thrive. Her reserves include Kelsey Mitchell, another Fever teammate, whose selection feels both personal and deserved. On the other side, Collier counters with a squad that leans heavily into championship pedigree and veteran savvy. Breanna Stewart leads the way, bringing her UConn roots and playoff-tested mentality. Collier also stockpiles talent like Alicia Gray, the guard players ranked as the best in the league. What unfolds is more than an all-star game, it's a clash of philosophies. Clark's vision blends chemistry, shooting, and momentum. Collier's team is built on experience, rankings, and grit. 2 captains, 2 styles, 1 stage.
Clark, Boston, Ionescu, Wilson, Sabally, Mitchell, Gabby Williams. I love Gabby Williams. What a player. Sonia Citron, Kiki Iriafen, Jackie Young, Thornton, Kayla Thornton from the Valkyries. So Clark should have a very fast team there. When you look at it, I mean, Williams is really fast for a forward. Obviously, Kelsey's very fast. Citron's very fast. Jackie Young's one of my favorite players. Iriafen, a rookie, can get up and down the floor. Ionescu can help spread the floor along with Kelsey and Clark so they can really shoot. Caitlin made sure to get some size. She actually passed up on Paige Beckers to take Sabally, and she took A'ja Wilson with her 3rd pick.
This game becomes more than just entertainment. It's Clark's proving ground. Her chance to show, in front of the entire basketball world, that she belongs among the elite players who ranked her 9th. Every assist, every deep three, every highlight reel play won't just excite the crowd. They'll serve as statements about her true place in the league, and the Indianapolis crowd. They'll be ready to erupt every time she touches the ball. This isn't just an all-star appearance, it's a homecoming on a national stage. For Clark, this game could be the perfect launching pad. A breakout performance here could set the tone for the rest of her 2025 season and fuel the Indiana Fever's championship ambitions. The spotlight is hers. The stage is set, but the real question is, can she turn this moment into momentum? Because if she can, this all-star game won't just be remembered as a showcase. It'll be remembered as the turning point.
So many fans are new, that is. So they're just becoming familiar with a lot of these teams and a lot of these players. And last year, there was the Caitlin Clark versus the Olympics storyline. This year, of course, you don't have that as naturally baked in, but now Clark's going up against Cheryl Reeve, and Clark is clicked up with her Indiana Fever teammates in Kelsey Mitchell and Aaliyah Boston. A little bit of that Fever versus everyone else.
Clark's All-Star Draft performance proves he's not just the most popular player in WNBA history, she's quickly becoming the most powerful too. The unprecedented coach trade showed the world that Clark isn't just along for the ride, she's making bold, strategic decisions that reshape the league itself. Her 1.29 million votes didn't just set a record, they established a new standard for what fan engagement looks like in women's sports. With game-changing moves and overwhelming public support, 2025 is shaping up to be the year Clark and the Indiana Fever finally get the respect they've earned. The question isn't whether she keep breaking records, it's how many more barriers she smash along the way. If you're excited about Clark's return, drop a CC record breaker in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you never miss an update. Click the video on the screen, and we'll see you in the next All-Star moment.